All right, let me go to my trading view. One of the things, besides, you know, our indicators and market structure is what we're going to use the most. Y'all get to that. I believe it's lesson 5. Market structure is my favorite. You can trade with market structure alone. Well, I'm trading with y'all on, let me show you on the Da Vinci, with the Da Vinci code, because it's more newbie friendly, especially for people that haven't, you know, been through. Let me show you what I'm watching and what I'm trading with. Because I know market structure. I know it like in my sleep. This is what I'm using. I've got the Da Vinci code. So when y'all are seeing me trading, and y'all see me because I'm looking to the side, it's like because I'm watching this, and I can trade like this because I know market structure. Okay, I believe this is what the 14 and the 50. And I know that, you know, looking to the left, when it breaks this, it's going to be a good sell. Okay. So the two, besides market structure, one of the things that we use the absolute most when we are trading is our support and resistance. So that's why, you know, we do like 4 classes of support and resistance, and every night your homework is to get on here and draw these lines. And that is so that you've got so much practice doing it. You've watched the charts, you see it happening, so that you can see it like without drawing it. Wow. Okay. And look, these lines that I drew last week, do you see how they're holding? So it's very important and that you know that resistance becomes support, okay? And that same support has been resistance, okay? That's one of the 3 major characteristics of support and resistance. Now, however, I've done this for so long that I know that if there is an area like this where it is been resistance, 3 times, you may have to scroll back a while, but I can guarantee you at some point, this line that I just drew is going to be support somewhere. It's going to be support somewhere. Okay. And when we trade, we're all the time looking to the left. Okay. Because how many times do we see if that happened on the left, it's going to happen again? Do y'all see that live trading with me? Put a, either tell me yes or put a 3 in the comments if y'all know what I'm talking about. And let me resistance, support. You know what I'm saying? Oh, let me do this right quick. Okay, look right here. That's why I like the crosshairs. You can pull it down. You can look all the way across the screen. Resistance. I mean, support, resistance. So this, you know, that is true. Resistance, support. Support, resistance, support. Now we don't see this area being support on the screen, but look, I mean, 1, 2, 3. I mean, it was having a hard time breaking this. I guarantee you that somewhere to the left, what was resistance is, oh, look right here. boom, support. Okay. This is so important. Okay. It won't be long before you won't have to draw all of these lines, but I want you to, because when you resistance, it's not really one. Resistance, support, support. Resistance, resistance, support. Okay. Resistance, support, support. It's not going to be long before you don't have to draw all of these lines. Okay. That you don't have to draw all of these lines. But this is why we practice. And I always put one at the top, because if it stopped at the top somewhere, you know, it's resistance there, somewhere it's support. Okay. So one of the things that we use most while we're trading is these lines, because it helps us when we look to the left. Okay. When we look to the left, if it happened on the left, it's going to happen again on the right. You can, I mean, you can bet the farm on it. What? I would say almost 8 times out of 10. Almost 8 times out of 10. How many times in the morning when we are trading in the live lab do I tell you guys, look to the left, this is what's about to happen, and it happens. Okay. So this is the fundamental foundation of all of your trading days, is these lines. Okay. It's these lines. You got to get this before you get anything else. And this is probably the most important, because you can actually trade from zone to zone to zone. Okay. Does anybody on here have any questions about the support and resistance lines? And I know I kind of break the rules by putting lines, you know, where I don't, but I just know, and you will just know too. Okay. You will just know too. I see on some of your guys' homework, you missed some really pivotal levels. Like I missed that one right there. Resistance, 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 support, support. Okay. Very pivotal, very important lines. Okay. Anybody have any questions on this part? Okay. Okay. So y'all went over zones tonight, right? The supply demand zones. I promise y'all, drawing those zones is going to be the hardest part of all of this if you just stay consistent. That is something that I want. Let me make a note. If y'all just stay consistent, come to class or make up the class and do the homework. Okay. When you're doing your supply and demand zones, when you're I am going to give you an indicator. Okay. Indicators lag. We see it every day. Oh, well, that popped up out of nowhere. But the way I want to train you is I want you to be drawing these zones and drawing these zones, and I want you to know how to draw the zones. Because if you know how to draw the zones and you know where to put them, you know where to see them with your eyes. Okay. After you have enough time, then I'm going to give you the supply and demand indicator. Okay. But they do lag. They lag. Not going to lie. But that's okay, because your eyes have been trained enough to draw them and to see them, that you can what? Look to the left and see what's coming. Okay. The most important part about how I kind of cheat to draw them is make sure that you got your stuff scrunched up. Okay. That you've got your stuff scrunched up. About as scrunchy as you can get it. Okay. And then everywhere where you see them running together, it's basically a zone. It's basically a zone. This is what probably the thing you're gonna, that some people, like I'm seeing y'all nailing it. Really, Travis, you got it. Travis, you've got it. Travis, you've got the zones. Okay. So when you scrunch it up, everywhere that you see the candles kind of running together, that's going to be a zone. Okay. And you just want to start at the very, very top of the wick, and you want to pull it down till you get just a little bit of everything in your box. Okay. Just a little bit of everything. Right here is one. Okay. Definitely. You see how everything's kind of running together? Definitely here. Okay. Definitely got one here. This is a great, like, I caught 5,000. I just stayed in my buy yesterday, and I caught 5,000 pips. See this right here? This is a large zone. And kind of just runs together. Right here. Here. And then there's one under it. Just pull it down. Do you get just a little bit of everything in it? Okay. Oh, not quite that far. You see how I just caught just a little, made sure I got it at the top, and I brought it down till I got a little bit of everything in it. Okay. This is a pretty large zone. Okay. Right here. Okay. Probably, if I could. All right. Look at this. Okay. So it's definitely up here. Right there. And you got another one right here. And I just pull it down till I get a little bit of all of it in there. Okay. So then you've got your zones. Okay. So then look what happens when you spread, when you go back, you see that you've got them all. You've got all the moves. You've got all the zones. Like magic. This is something that it's probably going to take you several days. Okay. I missed one. Okay. But once you can draw them, you're going to be able to see them. Okay. And actually, we probably should have brought this one up and got all of this in it. A pretty large one. Okay. This one right there. Okay. See, price couldn't break that zone. Price couldn't break that zone. Price couldn't break that zone. Same thing over here. Okay. This is out of everything that I teach you, this is going to be the hardest, is learning to draw these zones. If you learn to draw these zones, they become second nature. Eventually you can see them. You're going to get the indicator. And like I'm telling you, like it's not going to pop up before it hits it. That's why indicator, they lag. Okay. You're going to be down in this zone before it pops up. But if you know how to draw them, okay, and you see it coming down to here, you can look to the left and be like, oh, that was a zone over there. It's going to hit it again. It's going to hit it again. Okay. Does anybody have any questions? Y'all sure are quiet. Oh, the quietest group I have ever had. We'll be live trading in the morning and I'll just be talking away. Does anybody have any questions about this or something else that you've been studying? Unmute your mic, Jay-Z, honey, and just talk.
Hey, sorry.
Hey, you're fine.
I mute myself because I got my kids back here fighting back and forth.
We are kid friendly. Eva has no problem bombing class to ask if I'm going to get her chicken nugget. So yeah, okay. So what's your question about the EMAs?
Well, people use them differently, so I'm just curious. I didn't see them anywhere in the video. We saw how to set them up and put them in, but I don't know how we use them. I used them in the past, where people, see them as a crossover and then they go into the trade when they cross. Other people wait until, they're spread out and then they're like, oh, it's in a wide state, get ready. It's going to come down, and then wait for a signal. Or if they, or they don't really use them as a crossover, but they wait to kind of get an idea where it's going. And then they wait for it to hit the SNR.
On the setup that I gave you in lesson 2, we use them for a crossover. Okay. We use them for a crossover. If your red goes below the yellow, look for a sell. I'll wait till they get a little bit of space in between them and take my entry. And the same with the buy. If the red goes above the yellow, then we're looking for buys. And then, of course, that thick green one that we have on there, that's the 50. And as a general rule, if it's above the 50, it's buying. If it's below the 50, it is selling. Okay.
Like the price or the red line?
Price. If price is, yeah, you got your thick green line. If price is above it, you're looking for buys. If price is below it, you're looking for sales. And then, you look for the cross. Either, the red's on top, you're buying, red's on bottom, you're selling. So another one that I have had, y'all, those that are live trading with me that y'all have seen me add, or I've had y'all add, is your 200. Okay. It's
that's the super trend, right?
No, that's not. It's not. No, the super trend is that's just shows you basically the trend. The 200 is something that we. Let me just add it so I can show you. It's the 200 is. My settings. The 200 saves our ass a lot from taking early entries. I want to let me. Oh, there it goes. Okay. I believe we have it purple, don't we?
And you have it as SMA or EMA? You have it as simple moving average or
no, I always use exponential on indices because they just move along with them better. Okay. So what we want to watch with this 200 is if you notice now, and we can count while we're here. 7 times out of 10, okay? When price breaches, if you let's start over here to the left, when price breaches this 200, it pulls back up like a magnet and goes back the other way. You see it does it here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we would be like, it would, hell, it would all be looking like, right here, it's going down, 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 but we see it coming towards this 200. So that's why I wait, because 7 times out of 10, I know that it's going to pass 200 and it's going to pull it back up like a magnet and go the other way. It did it again here. You see it pass down, like we would have thought, like, ooh, this is a good one. Let's take this sale. But I know because it passed this 200, 7 times out of 10, it's going to pull it back up and go the other way, in which it did. Okay. So it's not always the case, as in right here, it went below the 200, but what did it do? Yeah, it pulled it back up, went back down, it pulled it back up, and then finally it released it. Okay. So this would be like one of the 3 out of 10 times that it does go the other way. Okay. And as it's coming up, I'm just always weary. Now here it passed it, and you could tell it was trying to pull it back down, trying to pull it back down, trying to pull it back down to this 200. Okay. But then, yeah, it took off. So when you see a break and it broke out of the zone, it come back down and retested and headed the other way, then it was okay to, take this buy. But you can see, if you watch it across the screen, see here, it did it again. And we would have thought, hell yeah, this is a good sale. Look at the momentum, and it come out of our zone. But we know that it just passed this 200. So 7 times out of 10, it's going to whoop it back up and go in the direction that it was. Here it respected it, and so on and so forth. So this 200 is another one that I've had y'all put on just to give you some further confirmation, save you sometimes from taking some bad entries. But then the 3 out of 10 times that it don't do that, don't get mad at me. Thank me for the 7 out of 10 times that I saved you. Okay. Oh.
All right, I'm adding that one on.
Okay. All right. Does anybody need any help with anything on their chart? Does anybody have any questions? Does anybody have anything we want to talk about? If y'all do, put it in the chat. I do want to talk to y'all about consistency. Everybody that can, that trades on New York with me, I want you on before opening bell. Next week, starting, I know the last 2 weeks, it's been my fault. I haven't been on at 7:30, had band camp. Everything should be okay next week. So consistency is key. Okay. We'll have 30 people show up because we had a good day before. When they see we had a good day before, then 30 people show up for opening bell. Well, guess what? Well, maybe the day that 30 people showed up, we didn't take a trade because the conditions wasn't right. So then what happens the next day? Maybe 7 or 8 people are. Consistency is key. Okay. Consistency is key. Consistency is key. If there's any humanly way possible, show up every day. Show up every day. Consistency. Now, like I said, out of the last 6 weeks, and I'm just not even going to talk about the 8-minute trader anymore. But before y'all go buy it from somebody else, if y'all gonna buy it, please come to me. Okay.
Oh yeah, Misty, can I see the differences again? Because I'm still confused as to what the difference is between the Da Vinci Code and the 8-minute trader.
I don't have nothing to show you on the 8-minute trader.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't have nothing to show you because I've just been demoing it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. And it is just for opening bell and just for US 30. It's the only time of day you can use it. It doesn't work any other time. But If we can get our money and be done trading in 10 minutes, I'm game. I'm game. Otherwise, I stay out of opening bell because it is so volatile. I'll wait
That's
till
great.
8:45 or 9 until it calms down, and maybe we can see where it's going before I take a trade. So yes, consistency. Show up, show up, show up. Let's compound these accounts. Okay. I know some people fell behind, and that's okay. No 3% drawdown. Okay. If you lose 3% of your account that day, wait till the next day or go to demo. Okay. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. But if you do lose and you stay in and you stay in and you keep trying to get it back, well, now you're trading with emotions, you're chasing candles, you're missing entries and trying to jump in late and getting them freaking out and getting out on the drawdown when you should have just stayed in because it. So we're taking this slow with this challenge, which is good. Okay. Compounding these accounts, $50,000 a month trading is where I'm going to have you guys at. Okay. It's going to take us a while to get there, but it's going to be so worth it because when we do it, it's going to be consistent. We're going to have some several $1,000 days. Okay. All right, guys. Does anybody need any help with anything?
No, but I did want to make a comment.
Okay.
And it might explain what I was asking Karina the other day when we had the lot size discussion.
Okay.
I was using Eagle FX, and every time I'd use US 30 or like the
NAS.
NAS, yeah, a 0.01, it was like the equivalent to like 0.1, and so every time I put in a place a bid, it was just like astronomical. And so every time I would do like 1 pip, it was 5 pips, I'm like huge, profits already. And then, but now that I'm on Hanko trade,
Uh-huh.
it's like normal now. It's like I
Okay.
do 0.01. It's like now it's just not like huge drawdown as soon as
So
I get
it's
one.
like, okay, so it is like 10
Yeah,
cents a pip. So because we do the indices, like the lot size, the scale for lot size is a lot different. I
it's
want
completely different.
I want you guys to stay at a 0.01 lot size till you build your account up to $2,500. Then when you get your account built up to 2,500, then you can go to 0.02. When you get to 3,500, 0.03. Do you see what I'm saying? And
Yep.
that's one trade at 0.03, or one trade at, maybe you take a US 30 for 0.02 and you take a NAS for 0.01. That is proper risk management with indices and your lot size. Now, regular pairs, it's, 0.01 per 100. We can't do that with indices because we will eat our accounts up.
Mm-hmm.
So I just, we're just going to build them slow, proper risk management, consistency, and tell your friends. Oh, all right. So does anybody else need any help with anything or have any questions? Want to share your screen? All right, guys. So I want everybody to have a great weekend. Okay. And I do, if y'all have not been in your back office on the personal development side and you have not been through your Dynasite, please do that this weekend. I still have mine. I'm still doing it. And I know from experience that it works and it's the easiest way you're ever going to get everything you want in life. And it's not a lot of work. I know like 40 people were on the first of the class, and when we got done, there was probably only 10 of them. And there may be like maybe 2 of us that still, all you got to do is read it. You write down everything you want in life, and then you write it out in a goal format, and then you read it twice a day. I mean, how freaking easy is that? So I don't know if anybody else, I'm still doing it. I'm going to continue to do it. So I'm going to have everything on this list. It's the first time that I did it, have everything that I wrote, and I write big, massive list. Except for my Escalade, and it's coming with this one. And gas prices went down. All right, guys. So if y'all haven't been working on your Dynastock, I strongly suggest that you do. Okay. Very, very powerful. And as far as I know, there's no band camp. Monday, I will be on at 7:30 in the morning like normal. Okay. All right, guys. I love y'all. I'll see you in
Thanks,
advance,
Christy.
and I'll see you this weekend.
Good night.
Good night.